This is the yarn that I used. It's a very fine yarn, but it works really well on that machine, and the needle size is 4.5 millimeters. Don't know, not sure if you can see it, but it works really well on that machine, and you can make these like pieces that are really light, and you can wear on top of other clothes or whatever you feel like it. And so needles that I used the hooks, okay, 4.5 millimeters hook, and also a metal hook that's a bit smaller. This is a 2 millimeters one. I normally use that. I didn't use on this case, yeah, I didn't use on this one, but I recommend to have a metal one and smaller, so you can do increase and decrease on that sewing machine, on that knitting machine, because that knitting machine, when you work on the panel option, it has two options here, just tubular and panel. So when you work with the panel options, you have the options of decreasing and increasing stitches, and that's how you make to increase and decrease like pieces like this one. And it actually works. It looks really nice. Don't know if you can see the stitches here. It works really well. So, well, I'll be making a few tests and just trying different types of shirts that and tops we can make. And this is one of them. That's the one I'll be teaching you today. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you made it, if you liked it. And all of these pieces that I make, they can be done in any material. So if you prefer wool or whatever, or acrylic, or something more thick that's not so see-through, you can do that as well. But you know, I'm just giving you ideas so you can make different things using that machine, because you can make your all your wardrobe of that. Really, you can make skirts. I'm gonna try make shorts and skirts soon, and I'll be posting that on YouTube. So to start making this top, I already cast on stitches from needle number 3, because that's the first one that works for panel. We're working on a panel mold, okay, and all the way to the 45th one. So you cast just the normal way, like I always do. If you didn't see on my videos before, have a look. But it's basically waving in and out through the needles. And then here, as you can see, because this is a very fine yarn, I put in all 3 of them here. Okay, because it's a very fine yarn, so you put through all 3 of them for the tension. Here's the yarn, and I'm just taking took the yarn from the middle, so the machine does itself. You don't really need to roll a ball to work with it. And so I made the other side already, which is here. And I'm gonna change the colors 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times, yeah, because I'm working. I mean, if you don't want to work with this silver in the middle, it's no worries, and then you can just straight away change to this other color here. And if any of you guys know the name of this yarn in America, let me know, because yeah, I'm using this one, as you can see. It's very thin like that. If you know the name, just post on the comments below, because I couldn't find it online. So yeah, well, that's it. So from now we will be making 47 rows, just because I'm making this for me again, and I like to make it long to cover my belly. If you want this shorter, you can probably cut 10 to 15 rows less, or if you're making a small size, you don't want this long as well. So I'll be making 47 rows just like this one, And so just cast on the stitches and then pull it a bit. You're always gonna pull a bit on the beginning of each row here, so the machine starts properly. And this this material is really easy to work with. This machine, it works really well. So here, make sure it's in there. There you go. Go all the way until the yarn is underneath this part here, and then you can start cranking it back. That's our second row. Make sure you count the rows, or you buy a row counter. I don't actually. And see here, when the stitch doesn't go down all the way, put it down like that, so the stitch gets made. So that's it, guys. We're gonna make 47 rows of this, less if you want the top not that long. And then we will be changing the colors, so I'll teach you how to change color. It's quite easy. But then we'll be making 4 rows with the silver color. And I need to count, I think it's around 30 rows with the white fluffy one. And then we'll finish this top with two little neck ties or shoulder ties. So I'll stop here, and then you make all these rows, and I'll come back with them made, and I'll show you how to change the color. But it's just straight, we don't have any decreases on this one, and so it's quite easy, it's just a straight panel. Okay, so here I made my 47 rows, and so the way you count the rows, because I obviously forgot to count them, is each one of these V's here. As you can see, each one of these V's. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each one of them is one row, so I have 47 here. And now I'm gonna show you how I change the colors. I'm going to use this silver. It's actually very fine and soft. It's a soft yarn, and I bought this on a house sale, so don't really know if this yarn still exists. It might be really old, but it's very fine, and it's actually, for a silver color, it's very soft. So if you don't want to change, if you want to go straight to the other color, the kind of grayish one, you can do that too. But I'm gonna cut like right here. You have to cut so you can actually make a knot, so leave enough tail so you can make a knot. Cut it there. Then we'll be just making a knot here, just like that. To change to the other color. And then you can go as close as you need as you want from the needle. Like this close, pretty good, because then you go underneath here and kind of start cranking back. Make sure that first needle grabs the yarn. See, it's grabbing the yarn there. Already did. And now it's already inside here. All we do is put through the tension thing. I actually like working just holding, just because this yarn is very fine. I actually like to apply some pressure with my own hand. And then we're gonna make 4 rows of this. and change it to the other color. Leave a little tail so you can make the knot, and then grab from inside the yarn here. I'm just going to check on my other side how many rows I made of this. Make sure the stitch doesn't come out of the last hook. You want the hook down like that. Okay, and then underneath here, kind of inside here more, but the knot can't really go in, so I actually do it by hand. So that way, doing by hand, make sure that the yarn will go, the hook's gonna get the yarn. And then you can put on the front here, make sure that second hook grabs the yarn as well, and that's changed. So we're gonna make a few more rows. I'm gonna just check how many rows we need to make now. So I made 34 rows using this white color, and then I always count on the corner because then it's easy. 2, 4, 5 or 6 with this first color again, so 34. So I changed to this last color, and because I forgot to count my rows, of course I made too many rows here, so I made only 2 here. And now I'm going to put this one in the middle so I can remove my stitches. I'm gonna make all the way without yarn so I can cast all of these stitches off. Go all the way to the 45th one, and then 1 second, I'm gonna get my needle. Right now my yarn is here on the beginning, and I'm using another color of yarn, as you can see, to cast the stitches off, just to make it easier for you to see which stitches we have to work with the crochet on top of it. So I'm going to remove them from this side to that side, and the way you do that is just like this. So just leave it loose here. If you need, just, you know, cover when you when you put the hook through this one, just put your finger on the next one so it doesn't come undone. It makes it easier as well. This yarn is pretty good for that. It doesn't come out really easy, but some of them, like the velvet one that I worked before, it comes out really easy, so you don't want them to do that, because then it makes your life harder, you know, trying to grab them back with a hook or whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna cast them all off all the way to the other side, and then I'm gonna show you how the crochet on the top is done and how I'm gonna put this top together. So this is the way this came out of the machine, and now what you do is just stretch it a bit. And as you can see here, because we used another color to cast it off, it's really easy to see the stitches, because we're going to be working on this last loop here, making crochet around it. Because I already made both sides, and I finished this one off already with the crochet, I'm going to explain how I joined both together. So see here, I forgot to count the rows, and then I have less on one side and more on the other. That's okay though. So here I have the yarn, the tail of the last one. I'm gonna be cutting that off after I finish this whole side with the crochet, and I'm also gonna be removing this tail that I used to cast the stitches off. So what you're gonna do is you already have the last loop from the other side. You're gonna put the hook through this first loop on this side, and you're gonna yarn over, make them both together. So I'm just gonna make this a bit more tight. I'm actually gonna use this yarn, I'm tripping. So I'm gonna be using the yarn on the other side, okay? And this yarn from this side, I'm just gonna leave it loose. You can cut if you want. I'm just not gonna cut right now because I need to finish it before. So if the yarn on the other side, which is this one here, I hope this is not too confusing for you guys, but I'm using the yarn of this side, okay? And make sure both are facing the right side as well. And I'm going to just yarn over. So I'm gonna put the hook through the first loop, yarn over and pull it. And then I can deal with this other tail later on. Okay, so I have one loop now. I'm going to put the hook through that second stitch there, yarn over, pull through both. Now, make sure, don't make the stitches too tight, otherwise it's going to be too tight to fit later. So make sure it's a larger loop here, and that's going to tell you the size of your stitches. So yarn over, pull through. So you should always have 2 loops on your hook, unless when you are on the last one. Yarn over, pull through. And make sure also you put through the last loop. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult to put the hook through because it is sort of tied. One thing you can do is pull both sides of this up, so that way you can see the last stitch as well. So put the hook through, yarn over and pull. Very easy. We're gonna be repeating that all the way to the other side, and then we're gonna join with a slip stitch to the other side. I'm not gonna finish the bottom. I'm gonna show you how I do on the bottom, and then we are going to make the neckties as well after this. After you made all the stitches here, just try it on your body and see if this is not too tight. Otherwise, you'll have to remake it, okay? And make sure as well both sides are similar in width. Just because the stitches, the crochet stitch, sometimes they are more tight than the others. We have to make sure both sides are the same. They are the same for me. And so here on this last one here, I'm just going to join with this first one of the other side. Make sure there's nothing twisted here, okay? Before you do that, make sure it's not twisted there on the other side. And then we're gonna put this hook through the first stitch. Let me find where it is. I think it's this one. It's the first one here. Might be this one. Just to join them together. So put the hook through that first stitch. Let me see. Looks like there's one loose here. So I'm gonna just grab this one as well. Okay. It's not a problem. It's just it wasn't made on the other side. So I'm just gonna put through, and that's an easy way. Just with crochet you can fix while you go. So put the hook through that one that was loose, but I will normally put just from inside the first single crochet made on the other side. and then make sure it's all tied and pull it, and then make another chain after that. Okay, so here, after joining both sides together with the slip stitch, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna simply cut a long enough piece of yarn that I can stitch both sides together, and the way I'm going to do that is just wave up and down, like very straightforward sewing. So I'm gonna get around a meter of this yarn, should be enough. Stitch this, I placed a little marker here just so I know the position of that it has to be, and I'm using this needle here just because it's easier than the big plastic one, and so it's quite an easy type of stitch that I'm doing. All I'm going to do is in each row, or each second row if you prefer, I'm going to just go through both of them to join it together. Now if you want to join with the same color yarn, you can as well. I just don't really mind. There is another color, but if you want, you can, you know, stitch with the same color on both parts of the work. And so what I did on the other side, I went all the way to almost the end of it, okay, because I wanted this open. And here with this last row, what I'm going to do is, because it's too open, like it's too stretched, I'm just gonna pull it this yarn here a bit, and then I'm going to close it with so pull it a bit, so pull as much as you want it, as you want it to be open, and then just spread apart here, because I'm not going to be finishing this last row. You can finish with crochet the same way we did before on the top if you want. When you see that's good enough for you, just make a little knot at the end here, and each 2 rows I'm making this stitch here. Very simple. If you know something better, just do it your way. I'm not really very worried about this stitch because, and let me show you the other side actually. So this is how it looks like at the end. On the other side, as you can see, this is gonna be underneath my arm, so I'm not really worried about it. So I'm going to finish this other side here, and then I'm gonna show you how to make the little neckties on both sides, and then this top's ready. So I finished it all off, and I left it open a bit here because that's how I want it to be. And now I made here a little knot on the back here, and I put this right in the middle, so I count 21 stitches. That's half of my work, and then I'm gonna just go wave. And I actually tried this on myself, and I thought this was a bit too big for me. So for a medium size, which is me, I would take a few stitches, make a few stitches less. That's just something nice in the middle here. So I'm going to cut now. And then I'm going to make a knot on the back here. I'm going to make 2 ties, one on each side, probably 4 of them. So I'm going to make one here and one. Just measure on yourself and see where you want yours to be, and place a marker on each side, and then I'll show you how it's made. But it's basically double yarn and crochet chains. So I'll be making both sides the same, so you can tie on the top. Just to finish it off, I put 2 markers here, so I tried that on, and I put 2 markers here, and if you want you can put markers on the back as well, just to know where you want to place your ties, your strings. And with double yarn I'm going to make a slip knot here with my crochet hook, and then I'm just gonna put it through here a few stitches. I want this sort of like rolled in like that, so I'm just gonna put the hook through here, just right underneath here, grabbing a few stitches, pull it, and I'm going to make a slip stitch here. And then after that I'm just gonna chain, and I chained 70 on each side so I could make this lace on the top. Okay, so chain 70 there, chain as much as you actually want it to be, and then this is ready. So I'm gonna come back with the top ready just to show you, and then I'm gonna try it on, and I'll be showing on my body how it looks like on the beginning of this video, not at the end. And so I'm gonna put this pattern available on Etsy as well, just in case you want to make other sizes, because this ended up like a sort of like a medium large size. It's a bit too big for me, and so I'm gonna just calculate the what is good for a small, what you should make for a small or medium, and I'm gonna put on the pattern for a very low price on Etsy, so you can, you know, just buy to help me buying the yarn really. And so I'll come back with this ready. So here it is, guys, if you wanna see it from close. Bye. That's it. That's how it looks like. At the end I left a little open space here because it looks nicer like that. And so yeah, I'll be posting on Etsy the tutorial for the other sizes. And so this top I made in around 2 hours, I think, total. And so that proves the machine is much faster than making it by hand. By hand, this would take easily a day or 2. And on the machine it was really fast, and I like the result. It looks really nice, doesn't it? So that's the tutorial for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment. I always ask for comments. Let me know if you like this tutorial, if you want to see more tutorials on this machine, because this machine is really amazing, and I've been doing a lot of stuff. So yeah, let me know. I would like to know. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have all an awesome week, and I see you soon. So yeah, this is the top. Let me see from a distance if you can see it. That's the back of it. That's how the sides look like this. It's actually really nice. Feels good on the body, and you can also wear on top of other stuff as well.